Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates, coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. As you can see in our map here, or on our map, this is an earthquake. This is an earthquake over by Turkey. Okay, let me zoom in here, and well, actually, I'm going to zoom out here and show you exactly what has happened here in Turkey today. This is the largest earthquake of its kind here in the world. This is a 6.0 earthquake. This is a 6.2 earthquake, actually. 6.2 earthquake up here in northern Turkey. This is on land, guys. Actually, I'm sorry. It's over here in the sea here in northern Turkey. 6.2 earthquake. This is 10 kilometers deep. 6.2 earthquake. This is a very large earthquake, very strong earthquake, very strong earthquake. Look at these aftershocks here. This is a large 5.0. This is a large 5.0. This is a 4.5. And this is also 4.0. All these earthquakes here, all the aftershocks and the original quake are 10 kilometers deep, 6.2 miles deep here. Now, because this is in a lake, guess what? There are other populations around this inland sea here that are going to feel this, that have felt this earthquake. For example, over here to the northeast here, people living here have felt this earthquake as well. This is a large city here in Turkey. This is Kumburgazog, Turkey. Okay, right here. Now, further out here to the north, here's another large city right there. These people felt this earthquake. This was a very shallow earthquake. People felt this earthquake all over this region. To the south down here, look at this. Another very large city here in northern Turkey. Okay? Northern Turkey here. This is a big deal. This is a big deal. Over here to the west, right here, there's another very large city right here as well. Okay? People throughout this region felt this earthquake. And in Turkey here, their building codes are very poor. Their building codes are very poor, and as a result, these buildings fell down. A lot of these buildings fell down. There are going to be casualties from this quake and injuries as well. We can count on it. As we get more and more data, this came in early this morning. This happened at 7:50 a.m. this morning, Eastern Time. As I show you seismograms around the East Coast and over here in the New Madrid Fault area, you're going to see this earthquake come up on the seismograms. You're going to see how strong it was all over the seismogram. Okay? Be prepared to see that. Again, this is the largest quake today here in this world in northern Turkey. We go over here to China, Tajikistan, China area. This is a 4.3 earthquake, also moderate earthquake, 10 kilometers deep. We go down here into Myanmar. Okay? Myanmar, 5.0 earthquake here. We go south here to Sumatra. Banda Aceh, Sumatra, Indonesia. This is a 4.7 moderate earthquake here. Again, there are 24 earthquakes here in Indonesia, and they're showing us 2. They're showing us 2 earthquakes when there are 24 earthquakes here. This is a 4.2 over here near Bintuni, Indonesia. Bintuni, Indonesia, okay? We go further to the east. This is Papua New Guinea. Kimbe, Papua New Guinea. This is another 5.1 large earthquake here. 5.1 earthquake down here, just off the coast, 126 kilometers east-southeast of Kimbe, Papua New Guinea. This earthquake here hit offshore, but look where it hit. Right on the fault zone here. Right smack dab on the fault zone, guys. That's bad. That's bad. Why is that? There are 7 different tectonic plates in this region, for those of you that have just joined this channel today. 7 different tectonic plates in this region, and guess what? This 5.1 large earthquake is over on top of the craton edge, the edge of the tectonic plate. Okay? This is why we get so many earthquakes in this region. 7 different tectonic plates in this region are simultaneously moving. Simultaneously moving, guys. As one tectonic plate goes under another just like this, it's called subduction. One tectonic plate subducts under the other tectonic plate. That causes earth movement. Fracturing rock causing earth movement. This is why we get so many earthquakes in this region. 7 different tectonic plates, one tectonic plate subducting under the other, and that's exactly what has happened here. That is why we have 24 earthquakes over here in Indonesia. That does not explain why USBS, I'm calling them BS, okay? They come by it naturally because they refuse to tell the truth about what's going on. They refuse to tell the truth about what's going on. Schillers is here in the chat saying, checking in from the northern part of the New Madrid Fault, lots of small ones around. We will be talking about the New Madrid Fault in just a few minutes. Stick around. You're going to want to see what's happening on the New Madrid Fault. And it's just not tiny ones. It's just not tiny ones. We have small and even moderate earthquakes here on the New Madrid Fault today. I'm going to get to those in a few minutes. This earthquake over here in Papua New Guinea here, this earthquake over here in Papua New Guinea, guess what? It's not the only one here. It's not the only one here. It's not the only large one we've had over here in Papua New Guinea and Kimba, Papua New Guinea in the recent past. In the recent past, this would make the sixth earthquake that was a 5.0 or larger earthquake over here in Kimba, Papua New Guinea. The 6th earthquake this large. Okay, let's go over here to Tonga region. Just off the coast, northwest of Tonga, Niafu, Tonga. That's an island, folks. It's actually the capital of Tonga. This is a moderate 4.6 earthquake. Moderate 4.6 earthquake. This is moderately deep as well. This is 395 kilometers deep. Moderately deep. Just south of there. This is a large 5.0 earthquake. This is a fairly shallow quake at 149 kilometers deep. 5.0 earthquake here, 108 kilometers west of Papua New Guinea, or Pangai Tonga. Let's drop down here, over here into the Bay of Plenty here, north of New Zealand. This is a 4.4 earthquake here. A 4.4 earthquake, 112 kilometers north of Pauni, New Zealand. Now, this is not the only earthquake that hit here. There's numerous earthquakes. Now, I'm going to go to my device and show you some of the earthquakes that have hit here. Okay? USGS is not even showing half of the earthquakes here. Not even. Not even at all. Let me go to my device here. I just had to enter the code to get into my device here. And I'm going over here and pull up the earthquake map here. Okay, where'd it go? Just a second here. I want to show you this because otherwise nobody will believe it. Look what happened over here in New Zealand. Again, USBS is not even talking about half of the earthquakes here. Let's talk about all of these earthquakes over here in the Bay of Plenty. Okay, just northeast of the Bay of Plenty, we have a 3.87 earthquake right there. 3.87 earthquake right there. Okay, over to the west here, this is another 3.0. 3.0 to 3.9 are considered to be small earthquakes. Small earthquakes. Just south of there, 3.51 and a 2.67. 3.51 just to the west of here, and this is a 2. Excuse me. This is a 2.67 earthquake here. Okay, let's go further to the south here. In the North Bay of Plenty, this is a 4.61 earthquake. That is a 4.61 earthquake. Okay, that's a moderate earthquake. Let's just go barely to the south here, and we're going to have another 3.11 earthquake here. 3.11 earthquake here. This is a 2.41 here. So we've had 2 4s, 2 moderate earthquakes, we've had 2 minor earthquakes, and the rest have all been small earthquakes, 3.0, 3.9. The minor earthquakes are 2.0 to 2.9. That's over here in the Bay of Plenty here. Okay, now let's go over to the North Island, just northwest of the supervolcano. That lake right there is a supervolcano. Just to the northwest of that supervolcano, we have a 2.45 minor quake. And just south of there, this is a 2.63. 2.63. Now, this lake that I told you is a supervolcano right there. Any day now, okay? Now, I told you that there are 2 minor earthquakes northwest of here. This is topovolcano. Topovolcano. The European agency that puts out this map is not showing all the earthquakes here either. There are a ton of minor earthquakes and minor tremors here as well. This is a supervolcano. A supervolcano in the center of the North Island of New Zealand. Okay, that's there. Let's go to the south part of the North Island. This is a 2.23 earthquake here, minor earthquake. Over on land here, this is near Parawani, Manawatu, Wanguni, New Zealand. This is a 2.33 earthquake here. 2.33 minor earthquake there. Let's go further to the southeast here. This is right next to the great big huge Tonga Ridge here. The Tonga Ridge comes out of Tonga and goes directly through the North Island of New Zealand. This is a 2.24 earthquake right on that Tonga Ridge here. Right on the Tonga Ridge earthquake fault. Okay? Now just northwest of there, this is near Hawke's Bay. Mangora Apa, Hawke's Bay, New Zealand. This is a 2.35 earthquake here. 2.35 earthquake here on the North Island of New Zealand. Let's go south. Okay? This next earthquake is in the body of water separating the North and South Island of New Zealand. Okay? This is the Cook Strait. This is a 2.45 earthquake in the Cook Strait here, the body of water separating the North and South Island of New Zealand. Over on the South Island, okay, we get numerous earthquakes here. This is Pelorus Bridge, Marlborough, New Zealand. This is a 2.24 earthquake here. 2.24 earthquake here, just a minor earthquake here in Marlborough, New Zealand. It's a small town here. Okay, a small town there. Now, we don't have any other earthquakes until we get down to the west central part of New Zealand. This is near Canterbury, New Zealand. This is a 2.48 minor earthquake here in the central west part of the South Island of New Zealand. It's in the mountainous region here on the western side of the South Island. Okay, let's go further south. Okay, Clifton, Southland, New Zealand here. This is a 2.38 earthquake here. Notice where it's at. Okay, it's the southernmost part of New Zealand right here. 2.34, let's see, I'm sorry. 2.38, I'm sorry, 2.38 earthquake here. Minor earthquakes. New Zealand typically gets minor, small earthquakes. Minor and small earthquakes. Today, to the north side of New Zealand, over in the Bay of Plenty, you saw two 4.0 moderate earthquakes there. That's kind of typical. That's kind of typical. Now, we also have two earthquakes in Australia. Two earthquakes in Australia that USGS is not showing us. Yesterday, we had an earthquake over here just northwest of Sydney. Just northwest of Sydney out here. Today, guess what? Beerbong, north-southwest, New Zealand, Australia. Okay, I'm going to show you this. Let me back this map out here on the USGS map. And let's show you this earthquake here in the western or eastern New Zealand. This is a 2.70 earthquake here. 2.70 earthquake here. Okay. Yesterday we had another, I believe it was a 3.5 earthquake northeast of Sydney, Australia. Now going over to the western side of New Zealand, got New Zealand on the brain, the western side of Australia. This is Line Star, Western Australia here. This is a 3.06 earthquake here. 3.06 small earthquake here in Western Australia here. Again, USGS is not showing you all the earthquakes here. They're just not going to do it. Look at all the earthquakes in Indonesia. 19 earthquakes here in Indonesia. But again, you'll never see this on the USGS map. We haven't seen the truth out of USGS here in about 4 years. 4 years ago, they would have showed more earthquakes, and now they're not showing hardly anything. That's because they don't want to take responsibility for anything that's going to happen. Let's go over south of Mindanao, Philippines, largest island in the south of Philippines. This is a 3.50 earthquake. 3.50 earthquake south of Jose Abad, Santos, up the coast of Mindanao, Philippines. Okay, that's a 3.5 earthquake there. In central Philippines, this is 3.4. Notice where both these earthquakes are. Let me back this out. Notice where both those earthquakes are. Right next to the other tectonic plate. Right next to the other tectonic plate right here. That's why Philippines gets hit. Let's go north. There's another one we want to talk about. This one is just south of Luzon, Philippines. This is a 3.3 earthquake here. 3.3 earthquake here. My son used to live in this area of the Philippines. He served a mission for his church over here in the Philippines, right next to this city here. Now, I can't pronounce the title of it. The name of the town is Calatagan, Philippines. Calatagan, Philippines, I don't know. But he served his mission there. North of Luzon, Philippines, between the Philippines and Taiwan. This is a 3.6 earthquake here. And right next to it to the north, this is a 3.3 earthquake here. Now, why am I taking the time to show you all these earthquakes? Because USGS is not doing it. The United States Geological Survey is not going to do it. They don't give a flying rat's butt about what happens here in this area of the world. They just don't. They don't. Now, over here, just off the coast of Taiwan, this is off the northeast coast of Taiwan. Guess what? Another earthquake here. This is a moderate 4.2 earthquake, northeast of Hualien City, Taiwan. Hualien City, Taiwan. This is off the shore there. Okay? The waters of the South China Sea absorbed the shock waves of this quake. So just like all the other earthquakes offshore in any of the islands or continents, the Pacific, not just the Pacific, but the ocean waters of that particular area absorb the shock waves of those quakes. That's normal. That is very normal. Let me adjust this camera. It's a little bit too high here. There we go. Now let's go over here to Japan. I want to show you this. This is off the coast of Honshu, Japan. You need to know what's going on. I have friends over there. I have friends here. This is off the coast of Iwaki, Japan. A 4.4 earthquake. This happens to be approximately 34 kilometers deep. Again, look where it's at. It's on the edge of the plate here. On the edge of the plate. That's why we get so many earthquakes in this area. Down here, we have the Mariana Islands. Over here, we have the Volcano Islands and the Bonin Islands here to the south. This is an edge of a tectonic plate here. That's why we get so many earthquakes here. Let's go north. Let's go north. That same fault line that goes up around Honshu, just north of, or west, or east, east of Japan here, also goes up here north into the Kuril Islands between Hokkaido, Japan, and Kamchatka, Russia here. It's called the Kuril Islands. The Kuril Islands belong to Russia. Kamchatka Peninsula belongs to Russia. We are going to see this same seismic energy move its way up through the Kuril Islands over here in the Kamchatka Peninsula, Russia. Then after that energy leaves the Kamchatka Peninsula, it moves over here into the Aleutian Island chain here. This earthquake is near Adak, Alaska. This is approximately 9 miles, 15 kilometers south-southeast of Adak, Alaska. This is a small 3.8 earthquake. 3.8 earthquake. Now we see other earthquakes over here in the peninsula of Alaska here. This is a 2.1 earthquake here. Ugashik, Alaska. 2.1 minor earthquake here. We go north up here. Okay. Over here we have Old Iliamna volcano. To the south of Old Iliamna volcano, we have a 0.8 microquake. The 0.8 microquake here, just south of Old Iliamna volcano here in Alaska. Let's go north here into Cook Inlet. The Cook Inlet. The Cook Strait is between the north and south island of New Zealand. Up here is the Cook Inlet. This is a 1.5 tremor up here in the Cook Inlet. Further north out here, this is a 1.8 tremor here. 1.8 tremor. Let's go further north over here on land. Okay. We come to a 1.7 tremor here. A 1.7 tremor. Just north of this tremor is Mount Redoubt volcano. Mount Redoubt volcano. This is a 1.7 tremor here. They say it's 40 kilometers east of Pedro Bay. This is 40 kilometers west of Pedro Bay. Over here to the east, this is a 1.7 tremor here. They say this is 17 kilometers south-southwest of Anchor Point, Alaska. Okay? Further up here in the Cook Inlet here, this is a 1.1 tremor up here near what they call Clam Gulch, Alaska. 1.1 tremor up here in the Cook Inlet near Clam Gulch, Alaska. We go further north. I just love this. This is a 2.2 earthquake here. This is near Salanatoff Island, Alaska. 2.2 earthquake here, minor earthquake. And right next to it to the east is a 1.0 tremor here. Let's go north. Why am I doing this? Because I want to familiarize you with Alaska and what's going on. Right here is Anchorage, Alaska here. This is Anchorage, Alaska here. Across the bay, across from Anchorage, Alaska over here, guess what this is? This is Mount Shore, Alaska. Guess what we have here? A volcano. And during the past month or so, we've had a bunch of earthquakes here beneath the volcano. At one point, they thought this volcano was going to erupt. But guess what? It's not. It's calmed back down. It's calmed back down. Right now, it's not going to erupt. Let's go north here. This is a 1.1 tremor up here near Houston, Alaska. 3 kilometers south-southwest of Houston, Alaska. Further to the north, a brand new earthquake here. This is a 1.6 tremor here. 1.6 tremor, 3 kilometers northeast of Houston, Alaska. Then, guess what we have here? Right up here, we have a huge swarm of earthquakes. A huge swarm of earthquakes. The largest earthquake being a 4.5 moderate earthquake here. A 4.5 moderate earthquake that happened at 8:24 p.m. yesterday evening. That's why we have so many aftershocks here. 4.5 moderate earthquake hit here yesterday evening. This one to the south here is a 2.5. Further to the south, a 2.0. To the north, a 1.2 tremor. To the southwest here, a 1.1. Let's go further south here. This is a 1.2. Again, a 4.5 earthquake happened here yesterday evening, and now we see aftershocks here. Aftershocks here. Way down here to the south here, 1.6 near Houston, Alaska. Okay, let's go north. Up here, this is a 1.4 tremor near Trapper Gulch, Alaska. Trapper Gulch, Alaska. Notice all these names. These are Western, and you'll also see Russian names here. Russia sold Alaska to us for pennies. Long time ago. Long time ago. Now Alaska's a state. So we're going to see Western names here. We're also going to see Russian names here in Alaska. Literally all over Alaska. Let's go further north. Right up here. This is Tanana, Alaska. This is a 3.3 earthquake here. Guess what? Can you say volcano? Volcano. This is to the east of the volcano. This is east of the volcano. Right here we have the volcano here. Okay? That's what's going on here in Alaska. But there's more. There's more. What's going on down here to the southeast of Alaska? This is Covenant Life, Alaska here. This is a 2.3 earthquake. Notice where these two earthquakes are. They are on the earthquake fault that goes down here to Queen Charlotte Island, British Columbia. Where is that? Haida Gwaii. Where is that? It connects with the Cascadia megathrust earthquake fault. The Cascadia earthquake fault to the south. This is a 2.3 earthquake. And over here, Yakutak, Alaska. This is a 2.5 earthquake here. Now, the USGS has not shown us any earthquakes here in British Columbia, but there are. They're mostly microquakes and tremors. Microquakes and tremors in this area between Haida Gwaii and Vancouver, British Columbia. Over here to the southeast here. This is typical here. This is typical. What do we have here? What do you think we have here? What does this yield sign signal mean? What does the symbol mean? It says, USGS says this is an explosion. USGS is calling it an explosion out here. Now, guess what? It's out here in a forested area of Canada. A forested area of Canada. And there's a roadway right here. This is not an explosion. This is a 2.0 earthquake. This is north of Princeton, Canada. This is north of Princeton, Canada, guys. This is not an explosion at all. Not an explosion at all. Demon Catman says, spontaneous combustus carnivorous, an exploding tree. Pretty much. And Demon Catman, I do have the Demon Catman sent me a picture of an spontaneous combustus carnivorous picture here that I'll show you in the coming days. I keep forgetting to put it on the broadcast software to show it to you when we have these spontaneous combustus carnivorous earthquakes here. But that's exactly what this is. It's not an explosion at all. USGS can climb out of the hole and pull the dirt. Actually, they can climb back into their hole and pull the dirt in on top of them. Again, USGS does not know what they're talking about. It's very evident because the USGS does not take the time to do any research. They see what they say could be an explosion. It's really a tremor. It's really a tremor. In some cases, we've actually had minor earthquakes that they've called explosions, but they're not. They're not. Let's zoom in here over here to the north part of Mount Rainier, Washington State. Out here is Buckley, Washington. This is a 0.8 microquake here, northwest of Mount Rainier. Closer into the foothills of Mount Rainier here. This is a 0.3 microquake near Carbonado, Washington. Carbonado, Washington. This is one of the entrances to Mount Rainier National Park. 0.3 microquake here. Now, while they are talking about microquakes, I've shown you this before. I showed it to you on Monday. Today's Wednesday. They are not correctly informing anybody what's going on here. They're not just microquakes here at Mount Rainier. They're just not tremors here at Mount Rainier that are full-blown, small, and even sometimes moderate earthquakes happening here at Mount Rainier every day. But again, USGS will never tell you that. USGS will always hide the information. Down here at Mount St. Helens, there are earthquakes, there are tremors, and there are also microquakes here. Also over here, we don't usually talk about this on our show, but guess what? This is Mount Adams here. Mount Adams has been steaming. Mount Adams has also been having tremors and microquakes here. This is a volcano. Mount Adams volcano just east of Mount St. Helens. Further to the south, we have Mount Hood. Mount Hood is also steaming. Mount Hood is also experiencing earthquakes, tremors, and micro earthquakes here. But again, USGS will not always tell us about it because, heaven's sakes, they don't want us to know what's going on. They do not want us to see what's going on. On Monday, I showed you all kinds of earthquakes and tremors up here to the north, Friday Harbor, Olga Island, Loomy Island out here, North Washington State, earthquakes and tremors all over this area. But you'll never hear it from USBS because heaven forbid they don't want to tell us about it. Why? Because, folks, this area is gearing up to have a major earthquake. A major earthquake. Prior to this week, I was always telling everybody that the Cascadia earthquake would probably not happen for 5 years. 5 years. But now I have revised that forecast for maybe 2 years from now. We'll see what happens. But with the onslaught of all these tremors, all these earthquakes, and they're getting more frequent, and they're getting stronger than ever. Because of that, I believe the onslaught of the Cascadia megathrust earthquake is coming very soon. I believe that. Richard Smith says, Ron, do you need to show DCM the tree that was after him today? I probably ought to, but I don't have a picture of it right now. Not in front of me anyway. Richard, you're a riot. Richard Smith said he sent a picture to Messenger here. Let me see if I can see it. Let's see if I can see it here. Or let's say I not see it, just see it, but find it. Oh, I just love it. I just love it. Now, folks, in between the earthquakes we're showing here and my laughter because of crazy things that are going on, we are having a lot of rain, not just here, but it's not right here near Morganton, North Carolina. It's east of here over near Charlotte, North Carolina. We also have not earthquakes, but we have rain and thunderstorms and tornadoes over in Texas, Oklahoma, and I believe also into Indiana and Illinois. They're going on. They're going on. And I believe everybody needs to see it. Now, Renee has been very good about telling us about it. And if you see her talking about it here, tell her thank you. Tell her thank you. Renee is awful good. She's awful good. She's great, in fact. Now, I found the tree that Richard Smith wants to show you. Let me put it in my database here so I can show it to you. You guys are going to laugh. I know you guys are going to laugh about this. This tree was after Richard earlier today. Let me take down this map momentarily, and we'll come back to it because I want to show you earthquakes over in Southern California. I want to show you earthquakes over in the New Madrid area. And we're going to show you cytograms showing you the powerful earthquakes that are happening. They're not powerful, but they are minor and small earthquakes on the New Madrid Fault. And again, I believe the New Madrid Fault is probably going to pop within the next 2 years. The next 2 years. Okay? Let's find this tree that Rich has sent us so I can show it to you. I think you're going to have a good time with this. I really do. Richard's a riot. You guys know me. I'm probably the biggest class clown there ever was. I like to have fun as much as anybody else. Now, folks, this is the tree that was going after Richard Smith earlier today. This tree's been haunting Richard all day long. Carl Smith says maybe Richard should get a restraining order on that tree. Probably true. This tree keeps looking at Richard all day long, haunting Richard. Richard lives over in Nova Scotia, Canada, guys, just for kicks and giggles here. He lives in Nova Scotia, Canada. And he's been haunted by trees all day long. Richard, I love you, guy. Gotta love Richard. He's a riot. Okay, let's go down here and look at some of these earthquakes here. Again, I'm going to go over and show you earthquakes in the New Madrid Fault area in just a few minutes. Let's go over here. Right here, we have a huge swarm of earthquakes here. Huge swarm. There are about 30 earthquakes here. This is normal. This is Sonoma Valley, Sonoma County, California. Wine country. This is also the geysers area. The geysers area is a geothermal facility here where men have drilled into the upper magma chambers of this volcano right here. This is the Clear Lake volcano right here. Men have drilled into the Clear Lake volcano to obtain steam from that volcano to power turbines here in the Sonoma County area to provide electricity for Pacific Gas and Electric, Southern California Edison, Rocky Mountain Power, and I believe one other energy conglomerate here in California. That's what they do here. They pull steam from the volcano to power turbines in this area to generate electricity. That's what they do here, 24/7. That's why we have so many earthquakes here. This is a 1.3 tremor here. This is a 1.1 tremor here. Let me go over here and pull up one of the facilities here that has turbines here. This is a turbine facility right here. This is a turbine facility here. Each of these roads around this turbine facility that goes outward from here, they have PVC pipes supplying the steam to the turbine facility. Those turbine facilities here have footprints here where they have drilled into the volcano here. These are actually drill points. This is one of the drill points here. Multiple drill points here. Okay? They also pump water up into the volcano to produce steam here. This is one of the water holding facilities here near the drill point here. They pump water into the volcano to obtain steam from the volcano. And then that steam comes from the drill points all around this area through the roads and byways here over towards the turbine facility where it's processed here, spins the turbines providing electricity. That's what they do here. There are 81 turbines here in the geysers area. 81 different turbines, I've counted them. Several months ago, I counted 81 turbines here. Used to be 46, it's now 81. That's what they do best here. That's what they do best. Notice this turbine facility right here. This is another one of them. Over here to the north where this earthquake is right here. This is another drill point here. This is another drill point here. Each and every one of these roads has PVC pipe going beside it, and it goes over here to the turbine facility. That's what happens here. This is why they have so many earthquakes. Over here to the northeast over here. Over here to the northeast, this is a 1.0 tremor here. To the north, this is a 1.6. Every one of these earthquakes, every one of these tremors are a result of fracking operations. Fracking operations. Everywhere where there's a drill point, seismic energy comes in off the Pacific Ocean here, comes off the Pacific Plate, finds these drill points, finds these man-made drill points, earthquake faults. It fractures rock inside the drill point, which causes earth movement, i.e. earthquakes here. This is a 1.6 tremor here. This is a 0.8 microquake here. Yes, we have had even 4.5 moderate earthquakes here in the geysers area before. We've had 2.0s, 2.6s here, but most of the time they are just 1.0, 1.7, 1.5, and even 0.8, 0.5, 0.1 microquakes here. The geysers facility here. The geysers facility. This earthquake down here is in Santa Rosa, California. This is a 3.0 earthquake. 3.0 earthquake. Out here on the Calaveras Fault. This is Oakley, California with a 0.7 microquake here. Now, look where the USGS, or not the USGS, I'm sorry. Look where the San Andreas Fault is. The San Andreas Fault comes off of the southern part, the Cascadia subduction zone up here. This is a San Andreas Fault here. It comes up here and meets two other faults, the Cascadia subduction zone fault and the Gorda Escarpment here. The Gorda Escarpment runs directly west off the California coast. The other earthquake fault is the San Andreas. It starts up here to the north. It runs all the way down the coastline of California, all the way south here, past just west of San Francisco Bay. Then it goes inland. It goes east of Monterey Bay here, where we have another earthquake here. This is a 1.8 tremor here near Aromas, California. Notice another fault here, just to the east of there. It's called the Hayward Fault. And just east of the Hayward, we have the Calaveras. As we move south, the San Andreas, the Hayward, and the Calaveras Fault get closer and closer together. Right here is one of the most dangerous areas in California, where all three of these major fault lines converge over here. When we get an earthquake here on the San Andreas Fault, whether it's coming from the Cascadia subduction zone, or we get a big earthquake off of the Hayward Fault or the Calaveras, that can trigger either of the other faults. Any one of those earthquakes can trigger the other earthquake fault. It can happen. Let's go further south down the San Andreas. This is the Pinnacles, California. 2.2 earthquake here, 1.6 tremor here. This is also an oil and gas pumping area. Oil and gas pumping area. South of there, San Bernardino, California. 1.6 tremor here. This is a 1.6 in Parkfield, California. Earthquake capital of California. Earthquake capital of the world. There are more earthquakes here in Parkfield, California than any other place. Today we have a 1.6 tremor here in Parkfield, California. Over here to the west, southwest. This is Templeton, California. This is on the Oceana Fault here. 1.4 here in Templeton, California, the Oceana Fault here. Okay? Then we follow the San Andreas Fault down here to the south. Okay? Right here. This is Cascadia, California. We talked about Southern California earthquakes here yesterday. Cascadia Valley, Cascadia City county area here has earthquakes. This is a 1.1 tremor here. Then we go out here to the east off of the San Andreas. This is the Gorda Escarpment. I'm sorry, not the Gorda. It's not the Gorda Escarpment at all. This is the Garlic Fault. This is the Garlic Fault. This is a 1.4 tremor here on the Garlic Fault, but guess where it's at? Johannesburg, California. Johannesburg, California. Notice what we have here. There's a small swarm of earthquakes here. This is a 2.6 earthquake. 2.6 there. Right next to a 1.8 tremor here. South of there, a 2.2 earthquake. This is a 1.5 tremor, and this is a 1.2 tremor. So this earthquake that just happened here in red, this is a 1.4 aftershock from this 2.6 earthquake here. On the Garlock Fault in Johannesburg, California. Guess where we're going now? Right up here. This is a 1.0 up here. This is east-southeast. They say this is east-southeast of Ridgecrest, California. Really? Really? Let me show you Ridgecrest, California. Guess what? This is Ridgecrest, California here. This earthquake right here is northeast of Ridgecrest. Northeast of Ridgecrest. This earthquake here is northeast of Ridgecrest. 1.0 tremor. They try and tell us where earthquakes are, and they give us false directions. That's what USGS is under the Lion SLB. It's not the everyday USGS scientist. It's not the everyday secretary or anybody else that works here for USGS. It's management. Management will never tell us the truth at all. Management will never tell us the truth at all because the politicians tell them to lie. The politicians tell USGS to lie. That's what they do best because they don't want us to know what's going on. The politicians want to stay in power. Now, let me explain something if you haven't been here before. Let me explain something about USPS. The politicians tell the management of USGS what to do. Don't report this, don't report that. Because if they did, the people would move away from that area. The people would move away from that area to save their lives. What happens? What happens here? When an earthquake hits, it would injure and hurt a lot of people if it's large enough, right? Absolutely it would. So the politicians want to stay in power. They don't want to have people move out of this area. So they tell USGS not to be honest. Tell USGS to lie to the people. That way, nobody moves away. People started moving away. Who'd pay taxes? If people started moving away, who would frequent the shops, the restaurants and stores all over these areas? No one. Nobody's paying the taxes that live there. If nobody's frequenting the stores here, they'll also go out of business and not pay taxes. There's no taxes being paid. How is the county going to fix roads? How is the county and the city going to keep the lights on? They're not. If the counties and cities go out of business, the politicians are also out of business. Bingo. Bingo. That's exactly why the politicians tell USPS not to be truthful. That's what they do best. This earthquake is a 1.2 tremor over here near Little Lake, California. To the north, this is a 1.3 tremor here, 20 kilometers allegedly east of Little Lake, California. Fascinating. Fascinating. I've given you a history here. Down further here is a huge mine. This is one of many mines here in the Mojave Desert here, mining borax here. This is a 1.6 tremor out here in the middle of the California desert in the Mojave Desert. It's out here near a borax mine. Open pit borax mine here. Mining borax or mining boron for soap. Mining boron for soap here. Then we come down here to Southern California here. Bear Lake, California, 1.4 tremor. That's just east of the San Andreas. Just east of San Andreas. San Bernardino Mountains. This is Yucaipa, California, 1.4 on the west side, the San Andreas. Over here to the west here, Redlands, California on the San Jacinto Fault. 0.9, 1.0 tremor here, Redlands, California. Further to the west here, Home Gardens, California. Home Gardens, California. Guess what this is? This is on the Elsinore Fault Zone. The Elsinore Fault Zone. Interesting, huh? 3 major faults here. To the east of San Andreas. West there, we have the San Jacinto. West there, we have the Elsinore Fault here. But what they're not showing here is another fault. Out here in Inglewood, Newport Beach here. We have the Newport Inglewood Fault here. This fault comes over here to the harbor of Los Angeles. Out here we also have what they call the Rose Canyon Fault. The Rose Canyon Fault connects with the Newport Inglewood here. Then the Rose Canyon Fault runs southbound here. Runs southbound all the way down to northwest San Diego County. Northwest San Diego County. Down to about right here, Encinitas, California. Good old Encinitas, California. Then the Rose Canyon Fault goes inland here and runs parallel to the coastline. The Rose Canyon Fault comes all the way down here on the west side of San Diego County. Runs all the way out here into downtown San Diego here. Then it goes out here into the harbor of San Diego. The Rose Canyon Fault is also capable of a 7.5 earthquake. The Rose Canyon Fault is also capable of a 7.5 earthquake. But that's not all, folks. There's more. There's more. This fault here, the Elsinore Fault, is capable of a 6.5 to 7.5 earthquake here. Why do you think we have had an earthquake here last week? A week ago Monday. These earthquakes here are aftershocks of that 5.1 earthquake just southwest of Julian, California. This is a 1.4 tremor here. This is a 2.3 earthquake. Just a mile and a half southwest of Julian. This is a 0.7 microquake. This is a 0.6 microquake in Julian. This is in Julian right here. This is Julian right here. Yes, it's just a small city here in East County, San Diego. Small city here. They have some hotels. They have a lot of great restaurants here. And those restaurants, and they also have curio shops here in Julian as well. Here in Julian, you can get hot apple pie and hot apple and cold apple cider all year long. Because guess what is here? All kinds of apple groves. All kinds of apple groves all over this area. They harvest these apples and pull them into the restaurants. They also sell apples to citizens as well. Anybody that wants to come up and buy apples, you can buy bags or a box of apples here. But here in Julian is a great place. Julian ought to pay me to give you this commercial. Julian is a great place. Julian is a really great place. But we have one thing here. Right next to Julian, we have the Elsinore Fault. The Elsinore Fault is capable of a 6.5 to 7.0 earthquake. 6.5 to 7.0 earthquake here in Julian. That's how this earthquake came to be a week ago Monday. Further to the east out here, right near here, this is a 0.6 microquake here. This microquake hit over here on the San Jacinto Fault, coming out of eastern area of Los Angeles, the San Jacinto Fault. Notice all the earthquakes here. This earthquake here is actually in Idlewild, California, but it's considered to be in the Anza Gap, part of the Anza-Borrego Desert State Park area of northeast San Diego County. These earthquakes are on the San Jacinto Fault. This is a 0.9 here. This is a 0.8 here. This is a 0.9 here in Anza. This is 0.3 here. South here is also part of the Anza-Borrego Desert State Park in Anza, California. This is 0.9 here in Anza, California. And down here again is Borrego Springs. Good old Borrego Springs here. 0.6 microquake here. This is 0.9, also considered Borrego. This is 0.8 here in Borrego Springs here. That's what's going on. As I reported yesterday here to you over here in Calipatria, we showed you a small swarm of quakes here. Now we have a 1.7 tremor here. 1.7 tremor here also in Calipatria. But is not just a 1.7 tremor here. There are probably 70 to 80 earthquakes here in the Calipatria area. Again, the USGS is not going to be honest with this. All over the Imperial Valley here, stretching all the way down here to the border area of Mexico. This area of Imperial Valley, California, has over 400 earthquakes here a day. 400 earthquakes here a day, every day without fail. Why is USGS not telling us about it? Because they don't want anybody to know what's going on. They don't want anybody to understand what's going on. That's why they do what they do. Now, I want to go over to the Pneumatic Fault. I don't want to run out of time here. I want to talk about the Pneumatic Fault. Southwestern Texas. See all these earthquakes here? These are oil and gas quakes. Oil and gas quakes. For instance, this earthquake here, Toya, Texas, an oil and gas quake here. Oil and gas pads all over these areas. Anytime you see one of these oil and gas pads, you can say where the earthquake is at. It's an oil and gas pumping field. This is the 1.7 tremor. This is a 1.9, 2.0 earthquake, minor earthquake. This is a 1.7 tremor. This is also 1.7 tremor here in Toya, Texas. Interesting. We go south. Pecos, Texas. Also a 2.0 earthquake. Fascinating. Further south. Balmoria, Texas. 2.0 earthquake. 1.6 here also in Balmoria. To the east. Coinosa, Texas. A 2.0 earthquake here, 2.2. To the south of Coinosa, Stockton, Texas. This is a 2.0 earthquake here as well. Guys, Stockton, Texas a year ago had a 5.0 earthquake. Stockton, Texas a year ago had a 5.0 large earthquake here. Oil and gas fields. Oil and gas fields all over this area. Look at these oil and gas pumping operations here. Every triangle, every rectangle, every square here is an oil and gas pumping operation. Pumps and jacks all over this area. Oil and gas field here. That's why we have so many earthquakes in this area. Literally all over Texas here. Oil and gas pumps. To the north over here in Oklahoma. 586,000 pumps and jacks here. Here in Oklahoma. Actually, I'm sorry, this is Missouri. They're not showing any earthquakes here in Oklahoma. Why not? There are earthquakes. They're not showing them. Hartville, Missouri, the center of the pneumatic fault. Just to the east side of the pneumatic fault. The pneumatic fault is right there. This is a 2.6 minor earthquake here. Tons and tons of earthquakes all throughout this area, I promise you. I'm going to show those to you in just a minute. Want to identify one other earthquake over here in the Appalachian Mountains. Maynardville, Tennessee, the Blue Ridge Appalachian Mountains. We call them the Blue Ridge Mountains here. They're part of the Appalachian Mountain chain. This is a 2.3 earthquake here in the Appalachian Blue Ridge Mountains here, Tennessee. We're going to show you a lot of earthquakes between here and the pneumatic fault. I'm going to show you earthquakes all over here on the East Coast as well. Why? Because the center of the Atlantic plate, the center of the Atlantic plate is over here on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. The Mid-Atlantic Ridge is expanding. The Mid-Atlantic Ridge here in the middle of the Atlantic plate is expanding. It's pushing Europe and Africa in an eastward direction. It's also pushing Greenland, Canada, the United States, and northern Mexico in a south-southwesterly direction. I'm going to show you a lot of earthquakes here on the East Coast today. The Mid-Atlantic fault is also pushing over here on the mountains, which is also putting pressure over here on the eastern side of the pneumatic fault, squishing the pneumatic fault, causing earthquakes. Now I'm going to show you a lot of earthquakes here on the pneumatic fault right now. I've kind of given you a tour all over North America here and all over the world. I should know what's going on. Now I want to show you what is actually happening. Literally everywhere. Literally everywhere. Let's go over here into the pneumatic fault area. Okay, right here. Okay. Folks, this is Catfish Pond, Arkansas. Catfish Pond, Arkansas, right alongside the Mississippi River. Right alongside the pneumatic fault. What are we seeing here? What are we seeing here? This is this morning. This seismogram is this morning, guys. What's going on? Look at these earthquakes here. Most of these are tremors. Most of this activity is tremors. Over here, after 7 a.m. on this black line here, we go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. 6.5 minutes past 7 o'clock. We had a 2.2 earthquake. A 2.2 earthquake. Approximately 3.5 minutes after, let me go back here. The red line here over on the left-hand side is 7:15. So 7:18 a.m. here is another 2.2 earthquake. Notice before the earthquake hit, we have tremors. Before the earthquake hit, we had tremors, and after the earthquake hit, we had more tremors. The earthquakes after that are called the secondary wave. The secondary wave. These tremors constituting the secondary wave lasted 2 minutes, which means this earthquake here is not a 2.0, but probably closer to a 3.0 earthquake. Probably closer to a 3.0 earthquake. Anytime we have a secondary wave here that's longer than 2 minutes, that means that actual primary earthquake wave was larger than they're saying it is. That's why this earthquake here, just after 7:18 a.m., is probably closer to a 3.0 earthquake. 3.0 small earthquake here. Let's go further down here over this blue line. Over on the left-hand side of this blue line is 8:30 this morning. At about 8:01 and 30 seconds, we had a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake on that blue line. These are minor earthquakes. 2.0, 2.9 are minor earthquakes. Okay? The secondary wave here lasted a minute and a half. Okay? So this might be closer to a 3.0 earthquake as well, considering this is a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. After that, at approximately 8:46 a.m. this morning, we had a 2.7, 2.8 earthquake on the green line here. We had tremors before that. We had quite a few tremors after that. And at approximately 8:46, 47, 48, 8:48 this morning, another 2.0 earthquake, and then a bunch of tremors after that. You can see that here on the seismograph. Then we come down to 11 a.m. this morning on the left-hand side. Over here on the right side, this is 11:11 a.m. this morning. 11:11 a.m. and approximately 32, 34 seconds. This is a 2.9 earthquake. This is a 2.9 and possibly even a 3.0 small earthquake here. Okay? 2.9, 3.0 earthquake, and you see tremors before and after that. This is Catfish Pond, Arkansas. Catfish Pond, Arkansas, guys. On the New Madrid Fault. On the New Madrid Fault. Incredible. Renee Steppe a few minutes ago said severe thunderstorm warning including Vinton, Garrison, and Mount Auburn, Iowa, until 8 p.m., which is another 50 minutes from now. If you guys are in that storm or near that storm, you need to keep your head down and your eyes peeled. You need to keep your head down and your eyes peeled. That thunderstorm could produce tornadoes. That is a severe thunderstorm. Keep your eyes open for tornado warnings and tornado watches. A tornado watch means just that. Keep your eyes open for a tornado. If you have a tornado warning, seek cover right then. Don't wait. Seek cover right then. Protect your life and the lives of others. Okay? I think Renee is going to continue to post thunderstorms and tornado warnings and watches throughout our program. Renee, I want to thank you right now for that. Appreciate it. Renee is also saying a severe thunderstorm warning continues for Dumas, Calhart, Cactus, Texas until 7:45 p.m. Central Time, which is now another half hour away. Radar indicated golf ball size hail. Golf ball size hail. Whenever we see hail here, whenever we see hail in a thunderstorm, there's possibly a tornado near it. Whenever you see a hail during a thunderstorm, there's a very good possibility that it may be attached to a tornado. Just so you know. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. I've seen it happen too many times. Let's continue this program. Now I'm going to go back here to Arkansas a few minutes. I want to go over here to Virginia, North and South Carolina, and Georgia. I want to talk about these earthquakes over on the East Coast first. Then we will come back to the New Madrid Fault. I promise you. We will come back to the New Madrid Fault. Let's go over here to Accomack, Virginia. Look at this. Accomack, Virginia, guys. Now, I told you that we would see that 6.1, 6.2 earthquake in Turkey right here in the center of this seismograph. Okay? 6:52 this morning. 6:52 this morning here on the East Coast. That's what we're showing you here. Okay? That's the earthquake in Turkey. 6.2 earthquake. Prior to that, all we had here were tremors. All we had here were tremors. We had tremors down here until approximately 9:30. 9:30 this morning. After that, we started getting earthquakes here. Accomack, Virginia, guys. We got 2.0, we got 2.5. Then we got 3.0 earthquakes, and you can see those 3.0 earthquakes here. These large, tall earthquakes on each of those lines, whether it be a blue, a red, or a green, or a black line. 3.0 earthquakes. Upwards of 3.0 small earthquakes here. Minor to small earthquakes here. This is not unusual at all. Accomack, Virginia here. That's this morning. That's this morning, guys. Accomack, Virginia this afternoon. Here we got tremors. Here we got tremors. Upwards of 1.8 tremor here at the top line here, which is 12:30 or 12 p.m. this afternoon. 12 p.m. this afternoon on the left-hand side. Okay? Tremors. I do not see even one minor earthquake here. Not one minor earthquake here today, this afternoon. Accomack, Virginia. But we had earthquakes in the latter part of the morning today here in Accomack, Virginia. No joke. No joke. Now, let's go over here to Blacksburg, Virginia. Blacksburg, Virginia this afternoon. Look at this. Yes, we've had some microquakes here. But this afternoon, at approximately 1:19 p.m. this afternoon, a 3.0 earthquake happened here in Blacksburg, Virginia. 3.0 earthquake happened here at 1:19 p.m. here this afternoon, Eastern Time. Blacksburg, Virginia's 3.0 small earthquake on the East Coast. I am tying that together with the mid-Atlantic fault, putting pressure here on the East Coast. That's why this earthquake hit. Let's go south. I'm going to show you a great deal more earthquakes here. A great deal more earthquakes. Let's go over here to North Carolina, near where I live. Let's go over here to Roper, North Carolina. This is on the northeast coast of North Carolina. Roper, North Carolina. Very quiet all morning long until after we had the Turkey earthquake. Then, on this black line here, on the black line here just after 9 a.m. Notice that they cut the top and the bottom off of this quake sequence. A 4.0 earthquake hit here this morning. Roper, North Carolina. A moderate 4.0 earthquake hit this morning. Just this here by itself, not even judging anything else, would be a 3.2, 3.3. We had a 4.0 earthquake here in Roper, North Carolina this morning, just after 9 a.m. Then we go down here to the green line, 9:45 on the left-hand side, 46, 47, 48, 49. Okay, we come over here to 9:49. 2.9 earthquakes. 2.9, possibly 3.0 earthquakes here at 9:49 a.m. this morning. Look at that sequence of earthquakes there. Last about 30 seconds. Prior to that, we had some tremors, and after that, we had some tremors. Then we come over here to the right-hand side. Now we're talking about 9:57 this morning. Actually, 9:56 this morning. Folks, this was a 3.0 earthquake here, lasting about 5 to 8 seconds. 3.0 small earthquake here. Prior to that, we had some tremors. Then we had a minor earthquake and then the 3.0 sequence about 5 to 8 seconds here. Then after that, for another 20 seconds, we had some more tremors, secondary wave. Then we come down here to after 10:30 over here on the blue line. We come across this line to the right. Here we have 10:46 this morning, 2.4 earthquake, 2.4 earthquake. Prior to that, we had some tremors, and after that, we had more tremors. Then we come down here to 10:45 a.m. this morning on the green line. We come over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we are at 10:50 a.m. this morning. Now we have another earthquake sequence. Again, just looking at it would be a 3.0 earthquake. But again, they cut off the bottom and they cut off the top here. This was a 3.5 earthquake. This was a 3.5 earthquake here, Roper, North Carolina. Notice the tremors before and the secondary wave after. The secondary wave after lasted about 45 seconds. That's why I'm calling this a 3.5 earthquake. A 3.5 earthquake. Then we come down here to 11:30 on the left-hand side. 11:33 this morning. Another 3.3 earthquake. This here would be a 2.9, 3.0. It's cut off at the top, and of course it's cut off on the bottom. We don't know exactly how strong it is, but I'm telling you just from looking at it, this is a 3.3 earthquake. A 3.3 earthquake sequence. Lasted again about 5 to 8 seconds. 5 to 8 seconds. Then after 10:45 on the left-hand side, we come all the way over here to 11:46 a.m. this morning. Then we have a series of earthquakes. 2.8, 2.9, and then a series of 3 earthquakes. A series of 3.0 earthquakes. Probably larger than that. 3.3 earthquakes. Okay? Notice all the earthquakes we've had here this morning between 9 a.m. and 12 a.m. Or 12 p.m. I should say. 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 earthquakes. 7 earthquakes in a matter of 3 hours. Roper, North Carolina. Roper, North Carolina this morning. So, folks, there's more. There's a lot more. Now, I want to show you Roper, North Carolina this afternoon. Look at this. Even more quakes. Even more quakes. Look what happened this afternoon. On the red line on the left-hand side would be 12:15 this afternoon. So we come over here on this red line to the center. This would be between 12:07 and 12:08 a.m. this morning. Not, oh wait, I'm sorry. It's on the 12:15 line on the left-hand side. Folks, this would be 12:24 p.m. this afternoon. 12:24 p.m. this afternoon. This is a 3.4, 3.5 earthquake. Judging by its length, it is a 3.3, 3.4 earthquake. We had tremors before and we have some tremors afterwards. A 3.3, 3.4 earthquake. Then we go over 1, 2, 3 minutes later. This is a 3.3 earthquake as well. Okay? This is 3:27 p.m. this afternoon. 3:27 p.m. this afternoon. 3.3 earthquake here. That's 2. Then after 12:45 on the left-hand side, we come over here to 12:51 p.m. this afternoon. Another 3.3, 3.5 earthquake. Judging by its size, it's a 3.3 at least, possibly as high as a 3.5 small earthquake here. Roper, North Carolina. That's not all, folks. There's more. After 1 p.m., 1300 hours on the left-hand side, that's military time, guys. Down here in the blue line is 1330, 1:30. Notice tremors happening after 1:30 for the next 30 minutes. Tremors. We come over here to the right. Okay? This right-hand side would be 13:42 p.m. this afternoon. Another 3.0 earthquake. Look at all these threes here. Look at all these 3.0 plus earthquakes here. All over. All over. We have had so many small earthquakes here in Roper, North Carolina, it's not funny. This morning and this afternoon. Okay. What about over here on the blue line here after 3:30? 1500 hours here on the left-hand side is 3 p.m. Come down the blue line to 3:30. Look at the earthquakes here. Look at the earthquakes here. Before that, we've had earthquakes as well. I'm talking about this earthquake over here on the far right-hand side. And this is happening. It started happening at approximately 3:47 p.m. this afternoon. By 3:49, it was a full-blown 3.3, 3.5 earthquake. Look at it. Look at it, guys. 3.3, 3.5 earthquake. The top and the bottom are both cut off. This probably could have been as much as a 4.0 earthquake, but it didn't stop there. Did not stop there. 3:49 p.m. Then we come down here to 3:45 on the left-hand side. This seismic event happened for about a minute and a half. Then it started tapering down. A secondary wave ensued. That secondary wave lasted 1, 2, 3 minutes. 3 minutes. This is probably a 4.0 moderate earthquake. A 4.0 moderate earthquake here. Look at all these other earthquakes here as well. 4 p.m. over on here on the left-hand side. On the black line after 4 p.m. We come to 4:12. 4:12. This is a 3.2 earthquake. 3.2 earthquake. Then we come down here to 1700, which is 5 p.m. Over here also at 5:12. The top and the bottom of this quake sequence here is also cut off. This is a 4.0 earthquake. That's a 4.0 earthquake. But it doesn't stop there. Several minutes later, 3 minutes later, 5:15. Here we have a 4.0 earthquake completely. A minute and a half worth of shaking here. A minute and a half worth of shaking. 4.0 moderate earthquake here. They cut off the top and the bottom of it. This would be at least a 3.3, 3.5 as it is. They cut off the top and the bottom which makes it at least a 4.0. And then we have a secondary wave after that, which lasts about 30 seconds. I'm going to stick with a 4.0 earthquake here. North Carolina, northeastern North Carolina. It's not over. Wait till I show you these other earthquakes here in North Carolina. Probably going to blow your mind. Probably going to blow your mind. King, North Carolina this afternoon, right here. These are nothing but tremors except for one earthquake here. This earthquake happened after 2:25 actually, 2:25 this afternoon. A 2.3 earthquake on the red line. A 2.3 earthquake here on the red line. All the rest of these are all tremors here. All the rest of these are all tremors here. This is King, North Carolina. Unreal. It's not over. Let's drop over to Roland, North Carolina. This is on the border of South Carolina. Northern border with South Carolina. Look what we have here. This morning, you can see the Turkish earthquake here. 6:52 this morning. Then you can see an earthquake happen here just after 7:11 a.m. this morning. 2.7, 2.8. Lasting about 10 or 15 seconds. Then after that, at 7:41 a.m. this morning, a 3.03.2 earthquake. Then we jump down to the green line after that. You can see tremors and about 3 minutes, let's see, hold on. At approximately 7:53 a.m. this morning, 2.9 earthquake. 2.9 earthquake. Then we go over 1, 2, 3, almost 4 minutes later. Then we have a 3.2 earthquake. 3.2 earthquake at 7:58 a.m. this morning. Just before 7:58 this morning. More earthquakes after that. 8 a.m. 2.9, 3.0 earthquake. 8:01, 3.0 earthquake. Then we have a bunch of tremors after that. Then we jump down here to 9:30 on the blue line on the left-hand side. On that same blue line over here on the right side, we have tremors starting at approximately 9:39 a.m. this morning. 9:40, the tremors get larger. 9:41, they get larger. 9:42, they get even larger. Right before 9:43, we have a 2.9, 3.0 earthquake. At 9:34, 9:43, 9:44, we have a 3.3 earthquake. They'll last a few seconds, it calms down, goes down to a minor earthquake, goes down to tremors, and then we have another 3.2 earthquake after that, almost a minute after the first one started. Then we come down here after 11:30. 11:35 this morning, we have a 2.4 earthquake. Then we have a bunch of tremors. Then just after Just after 11:44 this morning, another 2.3 earthquake and a bunch of tremors. Roland, North Carolina, just north of South Carolina. Southern border of North Carolina near South Carolina northern border. Roland, North Carolina. I'm not done. Roland, North Carolina this afternoon. Look at this. We're having a 2.9 earthquake after 12:30 this afternoon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 12:35 this afternoon. 2.8 earthquake, 2.8, 2.9. Then a minute later, a 2.4, 2.5. Then just over a minute later, we have another 2.9, 3.0. Then more tremors. Then after 1 p.m. this afternoon, over here on the right, just before 1:14 this afternoon, another 3.0 earthquake. At 1:43 p.m. this afternoon, a 2.2 earthquake, 2.2, 2.3 earthquake. 2:32 this afternoon, 1.7. We come over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2:35 this afternoon, a 2.7 earthquake, minor earthquake. 4:15 over on the left-hand side. Okay? We come over here to just before 2:24 this afternoon. 2.0, 2.2 earthquake. A sequence here, lasting about 45 seconds. Then we have tremors after that, all the way through until 4:30. Then we have microquakes after that. Fascinating. Fascinating, guys. It doesn't stop, though. It doesn't stop at all. That's Roland, North Carolina. Now, guys, let's show you Sandy Mush, North Carolina. It's just south of where I'm at. Sandy Mush here. We have a bunch of tremors here, don't we? Bunch of tremors. After 5:15 this morning, 1.7, 1.8 tremor. 3 minutes later, this is 5:13 this morning. Not 5:13. This is 5:18 this morning. 2.0 earthquake. So we have tremors in 2.0 earthquake here. This morning, Sandy Mush, North Carolina, south of where I'm at. Fascinating, huh? It's not over. It's not over, guys. Let's drop down to South Carolina. Blacksburg, South Carolina is a king volcano. Blacksburg, South Carolina, we have the king volcano. Yes, here after 6:50 this morning, we have a great big huge earthquake over in Turkey that's showing up here. Prior to that, we have a 2.0 earthquake after 12 a.m. this morning. Approximately 12:03 this morning, a 2.0 earthquake. Then we have tremors, a lot of tremors, a ton of tremors here. Then we drop down here after 6:30 this morning. 6:34 this morning. 2.2, 2.3 earthquakes. We don't see the top because we have other seismic activity happening, including seismic activity with Turkey. With Turkey here. So part of Turkey, another seismic activity before it here at Kings Mountain, North Carolina or South Carolina happened. So don't see everything. The rest of this diagram is concerning Kings Mountain, the volcano. South Carolina, just tremors here. Just tremors. Kings Mountain, South Carolina volcano. Let's show you this afternoon. This is this afternoon. Look what happened after 12 noon today. 12:09 a.m. 12:09 p.m. this afternoon. Look at that earthquake here. 2.93.0 earthquake. Then we have almost a full minute of seismic waves after that, a secondary quake. I believe this is not just a 2.9, but it's a full 3.0 earthquake. A full 3.0 earthquake here at 12:09 p.m. this afternoon. Then we have a bunch of tremors after that at the volcano. This is a volcano here, South Carolina. I'm not through here. Not through. Let's go over to Sumter, South Carolina. Sumter and Lugoff, South Carolina. Here at Sumter, South Carolina, Lugoff, South Carolina. This is in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains here. The foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. Look at the earthquakes we're having here. Most of this is tremor activity. Most of it is tremor activity. However, after 8:10 a.m. this morning, I believe we may have had a 2.0 earthquake, but because of the Turkey earthquake here, I think part of that 2.0 has been covered up. After 8:30, after 8:34, we've had a 2.5, 2.6. The top of that seismic event was covered up as well by the Turkish earthquake and also other seismic activity before that here. Sumter, South Carolina. We're having tremors all over the place here. Tremors all over the place. This is where we have a lot of earthquakes. This is where we have a lot of earthquakes here in South Carolina, guys. This is the East Continental Divide, the Eastern Continental Divide. Let's take a look at this afternoon here. Okay, this is a seismograph here this afternoon. Look what we had here. Okay, this afternoon at 12:29 p.m. this afternoon. 3.3, 3.4 earthquake. 3.3, 3.4 earthquake here. Unreal. After 12:30 on the blue line. 12:36 on the blue line here, we have another at least 3.0, 3.3 earthquake here. 12:36 this afternoon. Then we're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just before 12:50 p.m. this afternoon. Another 3.0, 3.3 earthquake. Then we come over here to 12:59 p.m. this afternoon. Another 3.3 earthquake. That seismic activity carries over here until 1 p.m. this afternoon. Then we have a secondary wave that lasts just over a minute long. Okay? I believe that was at least a 3.3 earthquake. 3.3 earthquake because the seismic activity continued down the secondary wave for another minute and a half. 3.3 earthquake. 4 earthquakes this afternoon. 4 small earthquakes this afternoon. South Carolina. North Carolina, we had a bunch, didn't we? South Carolina also. More and more earthquakes. More and more earthquakes. I'm not done. I'm not done here in South Carolina. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I am. I'm done there. But let's go down to Georgia. Let's go south of Georgia. How about Savannah, Georgia? Skidway Island, Savannah, Georgia here. Look at this. This morning, again, we show you the Turkey quake here. Most of this is a bunch of tremors here. Most of it is a bunch of tremors. However, after 10, I want to say 10:52, I'm sorry, it's not 10:52, 10:42 this morning, a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake here, Savannah, Georgia. Then we have a bunch of minor earthquakes here as well. Minor earthquakes as well. And I'm sorry, I forgot to show you this other one before that. At approximately, what would that be? Okay, just after 9:51 a.m. this morning on the green line above that. That's another 3.0 earthquake there. Unreal. Savannah, Georgia. Savannah, Georgia this afternoon. Look at this, guys. This is typical Savannah, Georgia. Very typical Savannah, Georgia. Yes, we're having a lot of tremors, but we've also had some earthquakes here as well. On this blue line here after 12:30. We come over here to 12:50 or 12:43 p.m. this afternoon. 3.0 earthquakes, and it's not just one, it's just not two, it's 3 or 4 3.0 earthquakes here. I believe it's at least 4 earthquakes here. 12:44 this afternoon. Then, over here on the green line on the left-hand side, on the far left we have 12:45. We come over here to 12:48. Another 3.0 earthquake here. Then we have some minor earthquakes and tremors after that. This is a lot of seismic activity here on the East Coast, isn't it? That is why we have so much activity on the pneumatic fault. Because the East Coast is being pushed to the south-southwest by the Mid-Atlantic Fault. This is why, guys. This is exactly why I'm showing you this. I want you to be aware of what's going on. I want you to be aware of what's going on. Catfish Pond, Arkansas, on the eastern side of the pneumatic fault. This is right on top of the pneumatic fault on the west side. Look here this morning. This morning. Okay? Just after 7:06 this morning. 7:06 and 30 seconds. A 2.2 earthquake. 7:18 this morning. Another 1.9, 2.0 earthquake. We come down here to 8:31 a.m. this morning. 2.5 earthquake. Then we come down here to the green line, which would be 8:45. 8:46, we have a 2.5 earthquake there. Then we have a bunch of tremors. I think the largest after that is a 1.9. 1.9 is at 8:48. The rest of these are all tremors, except down here after 11 a.m. this morning. At 11:11 this morning, we had another 2.9 earthquake. 2.9 earthquake. You can see it down at the bottom right-hand side on the left-hand side. The last black line here. 2.9 earthquake here. Catfish Pond, Arkansas, on the Pneumatic Fault. On the Pneumatic Fault. There's more. Now, because of time, I'm going to show you where most of these earthquakes were today on the Pneumatic Fault. Let's go over to Martree, Arkansas. Look at this, guys. Martree, Arkansas, in the past, has had 3.0, 3.5, and even 4.0 earthquakes here. Today on the Pneumatic Fault here at Martree, Arkansas, up at the top left-hand corner. Actually, before that, let's go over here on the green line on the top right-hand side. Okay, we have a bunch of tremors. The tremors started at approximately 12:55 this morning. 12:55 this morning. We have like 4.5 minutes of tremors leading up to the first 2.5 earthquake. 2.5, even 2.6 earthquake. Then tremors after that. Those tremors lead up to more earthquakes after 1 o'clock on the left-hand side, 1 a.m. this morning. Look how long this earthquake sequence lasts. 1, 2, 3, almost 4 minutes. 3.5 minutes here. 3.5 minutes. We had a 2.8, 2.9. Then we had a 3.0 at approximately 1:01 a.m. this morning, right before 1:02. 3.0 earthquake there, and more twos for another minute after that. Then we come over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. More tremors. Those tremors last for several minutes. Then it builds up to another tremor sequence, doesn't it? Tremor sequence. That tremor sequence lasts until after 12:15, 12:16, 17, 18, 19. 12:19. Long tremor sequence. Look at the rest of these earthquakes here. 3:18 this morning. 3.0 earthquake sequence. Lasts for 1, 2, 3 minutes long. 3 minutes long. 3.0, 3.3 earthquake here this morning, lasting 3 minutes. Martree, Arkansas. What happens after 3:30? The same kind of thing. Same kind of thing. This one lasts 1, 2, 3.5 minutes long. Not more than 15 minutes later after the first one. Then we have a bunch of tremor sequences. We come down here to 5:30. At 5:35, we have a 2.5, 2.6. That doubles into a 3.0, 3.3 earthquake. And that sequence lasts until another 2 minutes, and then we have a 3.3, 3.4 earthquake after that. 3:37 this morning. 3.3, 3.5 earthquake here. 3:37 this morning. Earthquakes galore. We come over here to 7:56 a.m. this morning. Another 3.3 earthquake on the green line here. All kinds of earthquakes here at Martree. This happens a lot, every day. Every day. Every day. Martree, Arkansas this afternoon. Look at this. Usually we have 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes all afternoon as well. Today, after 1:30, 1:45, we had some more 3.0s. Montreal, Arkansas, guys. Happens all the time, every day, on the Pneumatic Fault. Again, this is the east side of the Pneumatic Fault. Let's jump down here to Truman, Arkansas. Look at this. This just south of Marktree. The same thing happens. The same thing happens. After 2:30 this morning, 2:34 this morning, 3.3 earthquakes. And again, the top and the bottom of this sequence has been cut off. 3.3, possibly 3.5, 3.6 earthquakes here. Another 2 minutes worth of earthquakes here. More earthquakes after 2:45. Actually, I'm sorry, that was 2:45 and even 3:35 as well, 3:45. Then we have tremors until we get down here to after 5:15. At 5:15, look at this earthquake sequence here. Starts off with tremors just after 5:13 this morning. Tremors building up to full-grown earthquakes. The largest is after 5:16. 5:16. Probably a 3.2, 3.3 earthquake. Look at that sequence, totally colored in. That means earthquake after earthquake back to back. Back-to-back earthquakes for over a minute and a half. More earthquakes after 6 this morning. More tremors and earthquakes after 6:45. 7:30 this morning. Another huge tremor sequence. After 8:45, 8:50 this morning, 2.3, 2.4 earthquake. Then more tremors here until after 11:56 a.m. this morning. 3.0 earthquake here. 3.0 earthquake at 11:56 this morning. Truman, Arkansas. How about Truman, Arkansas this afternoon? Truman, Arkansas this afternoon. More earthquakes. This is typical. This is typical now. Again, I'm going to say this, I've said it before. I've been watching earthquakes now for over 6 years. 6 years ago, you couldn't find any more than a 1.7 tremor here. You couldn't find anything larger than a 1.7 tremor here, anywhere up and down the fault. In 6 years' time, 6 years' time, we've gone from tremors to full-blown 3.0, 3.5 earthquakes. What's going to happen in the next 2 years? I fear we're going to have a 6.5 to 8.0 earthquake here on the Pneumatic Fault. A 6.5 to an 8.0 earthquake here on the Pneumatic Fault within the next 2 years. Judging by what we're seeing here, seismically, this jumped. This jumped. Kathy Paina, you need to talk about what we're talking about. I'm going to ban this, not ban it. I'm going to remove this. I just removed your chat here. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. As I said before, I want you all to be understanding what we're talking about. If we're running on about anything else, you're not going to pay attention. You folks that live here on the Pneumatic Fault, you need to be getting ready what's going on. There's going to be a major earthquake here. I guarantee you there's going to be a major earthquake here. I don't know when it's going to happen. I can't cite you chapter and verse, day, time, and month it's going to happen. But I know it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. This is Truman, Arkansas. I could go through Arkansas. I could go through Missouri, as I have already done. These earthquakes are going to kill. They're going to injure massive amounts of people. Massive amounts of people. There are millions of people that live up and down the entire New Madrid Fault. From Louisiana, from New Orleans, Louisiana, north, all the way to Illinois and Indiana. Millions of people live along this fault line, especially around Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Mississippi. The roadways here used to be cow paths, horse and buggy paths. Back in the 1800s, the earth shook so bad, they thought it was, early on, they thought it was a 7.0 major earthquake. Now they're saying this New Madrid earthquake back in the 1800s, December 1811 to January 1812, was an 8.0 earthquake. We're going to see that exact same thing happen all over again. Back in the day, this area was very sparsely populated. Probably several hundred people here. Hundreds of people died. Hundreds of people died here. They either got flooded out by the Mississippi River that overflowed its banks and stopped moving. The Mississippi River stopped moving for 7 minutes. It filled an area right now that's called Reelfoot Lake. Reelfoot Lake out to the area of Tennessee and Kentucky. Reelfoot Lake, huge lake still. But that lake did not exist until December 1811, January 1812. Hundreds of people died. Under Reelfoot Lake, there's probably cabins down there where people died. Today, this area is populated by millions of people. Take, for instance, Little Rock, Arkansas. Little Rock, Arkansas. Points north up to Missouri, out to Memphis, Tennessee, out to Kentucky, Indiana, and Illinois. The roads here were cow paths and horse paths. What happened there when that earthquake hit? Like I said, the Mississippi River stopped flowing, forming a huge lake that's there today. Fissures opened up in the roadways. Nobody could move. Great big holes in the roadways opened up. Those horse and buggy paths are now paved roads, north and south, 1 lane each way. 1 lane each way. What's going to happen when this earthquake hits again? It's going to open up more fissures over the roadways. The highway 40, going east and west over the Mississippi River, is going to fall down, going to be destroyed. We've also had some other problems. They've tried to fix it so far. But this 8.0 plus earthquake is going to take I-40 down. Those roadways going east, west, north, and south are going to be opened up with great big holes in roadways. Natural gas mains are going to burst. There are going to be fires. Water mains are also going to burst all over the place. There's not going to be water available to fight fires. The fire departments may have water in their fire engines, and that won't last long. To fight fires, they're going to have to make helicopter and plane loads of water drops to fight the fires. Thousands of people are going to be killed on both sides of the river, both sides of the fault. Have I made my point yet? Have I made my point yet? I'm very serious, guys. I'm very serious. We need to make sure we're speaking the same language here. I want to make sure you're ready for what's going to happen. Look what's going on now. Look what's going on now. If we've gone from tremors all the way up to 3.5, 4.0 earthquakes, as we've seen in the past 6 years, this is going to get so much worse. This is going to get so much worse. Renee Steffi says a tornado warning has been issued. 6:55 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time until April 23rd, 7:30 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. Out of the National Weather Service in Denver, Colorado. Elbert, Colorado. Elbert, Colorado. Colorado Springs. Lincoln, Colorado. A tornado warning. I lived over in Denver, just southwest of Denver. Littleton, Colorado. I've been in these areas in Colorado, guys. Take cover now. Take cover now. A tornado warning has been issued. 6:55 p.m. Just a little more than 2 hours and 10 minutes, or no, not even that, just more than 10 minutes ago. Tornado warning until 7:30 p.m. tonight. Another 25 minutes from now. Take cover now. If you're in those areas, take cover now. Take your families with you and protect them. Guys, I'm deadly serious about what we're talking about here. I've shown you this data for a reason. I've shown you this data for a reason. We're about to see a major earthquake in this area. We're about to see a major earthquake on the New Madrid Fault. I keep telling you about it. I keep telling you about it. The USGS is only showing you here. They're only showing you an earthquake here of 2.6 mine earthquake near Hartville, Missouri. There are a bunch of other minor and small earthquakes here in Missouri. Promise you. Promise you. Guys, get serious. Make sure you have an emergency preparedness kit. Make sure you have an emergency preparedness kit. You need to be writing an emergency preparedness plan. For the USGS to only show one earthquake here, what else are they not showing? I've shown you what they're not showing, guys. The United States Geological Survey is doing a terrible job. They're doing a terrible job here. People are going to die here. People are going to die here. I promise you that. People are going to die here. Because the United States Geological Survey is not doing their job. They have not been doing their job for a very, very long time. They tell us over on their own website that they're not going to tell us about all the earthquakes. They never do. They never do. What's the problem with that? The problem with that is this. What they're not saying will kill you. What they're not talking about is going to kill you. I'm not trying to instill fear in you. That's not my point. I want to make sure you're prepared. Those people that are prepared will have a better chance of survival. You will have a better chance of survival than if you weren't prepared. Make sure you have a preparedness plan about how you're going to survive before, during, and after the earthquakes. It's not just one earthquake. It's not going to be just one earthquake. These earthquakes in 1811, 1812 lasted 2 months. 2 months. 2 months, guys. Unreal. Now, there's a few other things I want to talk about here. Yesterday, we had a huge fire in New Jersey. Huge fire in New Jersey. Big, huge wildland fire. For a while, this fire threatened the abandoned, decommissioned nuclear power plant here in New Jersey. Unreal. Fast-moving wildfire. Forced thousands of people to temporarily evacuate their homes. Now this fire is not out, it's still spreading. They have a 30% containment around the fire. 30%. That's almost nothing. This is in the wildland area so far. Thousands of people evacuated their homes until today. Until today. Let me give you the lowdown on this fire. The fire went from several hundred acres to 12,500 acres overnight. Overnight. This morning, it ignited in Ocean County, New Jersey, threatening more than 1,000 structures, shutting down a major highway and causing thousands of people to flee the flames. Flames from the Jones Road wildfire in Ocean County sparked several small blazes near decommissioned Oyster Creek nuclear power plant. As of this afternoon, the fire had burned 12,000 acres and was 35% contained, according to New Jersey Forest Fire Service. Initially, the Garden State Parkway, one of New Jersey's busiest highways, was closed between Barnegat and Lacey Townships, and more than 1,300 structures were threatened. Shelters were open at 2 high schools, according to the Barnegat Police Department. Officials later said all evacuation orders had been lifted for the approximately 5,000 residents who had been evacuated yesterday in Lacey and Ocean Townships, and the highways had been reopened in both directions. By this afternoon, officials said firefighters were gaining the upper hand on the blaze. The Jones Road wildfire was 40% contained as of 4 p.m. today. Sean Laturet, New Jersey Commissioner of Environmental Protection, said fire officials expected the blaze to grow and that it could turn out to be the largest wildfire in New Jersey history in the past 20 years. Largest wildfire in New Jersey history during the past 20 years. Thanks to the incredible heroic work of the good men and women of our New Jersey Fire Service. People, homes, and lives have been saved, and they truly averted a major disaster. Laturet said that no injuries have been reported. Chief Bill Donnelly of the New Jersey Forest Fire Service at a news conference this afternoon said the fire continued to threaten 18 structures along County Road 532, which remain closed to traffic this afternoon. So far, the fire has destroyed 1 commercial structure and damaged several cabins and other structures. John Cecil, the Assistant Commissioner for Parks, Forest, and Historic Sites for the State Environmental Department. Officials said they expect to have the fire fully contained by this weekend. About 100 firefighters were battling the blaze today from the ground and the air. The origin and cause of the fire is still remaining under investigation as of this afternoon. This fire has been inflamed by wind gusts, dry vegetation, and low relative humidity. The fire located south of Toms River along the Garden State Parkway was first reported Tuesday morning at 9:45 a.m. On Tuesday, Ocean County's Greenwood Forest Management Area, which an official described as pretty wild and untamed space covered with pine trees. What do we know about the wildfires and pine trees? It's like pouring gasoline on fire. The pine tar erupts like gasoline on fire. Trevor Raynor, a division fire chief warden for the New Jersey Fire Service, said the fire was first spotted from the Cedar Bridge Fire Tower near Barnegat Township, New Jersey. We dispatched resources right off the bat. When they arrived at the location, the fire was about 10 to 20 acres. We had the resources there quickly. We dispatched aircraft and even one big show of force grew to be a large wildfire. The fire exploded overnight to 8,500 acres. At one point, jumped the Garden State Parkway, bringing one of New Jersey's busy roads to a complete halt. At one point, the fire threatened more than 1,000 homes. But again, firefighters more than saved 1,000 homes. They were able to head off the fire, battling it with crews on the ground and aircraft in the sky making water drops. The New Jersey Lieutenant Governor Tahisha Way, who is serving as acting governor while Governor Phil Murphy is out of the country, declared a state of emergency in Ocean County this morning, freeing up more resources to battle the blaze. Officials said the blaze threatened structures in Ocean and Lacey townships, due mostly to drought conditions across New Jersey, particularly the southern part of the state. Firefighters have had a busy first 4 months of the year. Mr. Donnelly from the Fire Service noted that at this time last year, there had been 310 wildfires across the state that scorched 315 acres so far this year. Donnelly said there had been 662 fires. 662 fires, twice what we had this time last year. Those fires now burned 16,572 acres, where last year they only burned 315 acres. New Jersey so far has had one of the most volatile wildfire fuel seasons in the entire country. This has put challenges to the firefighters that face battling the blaze. And you know everybody's used to seeing California burn. Now it's New Jersey. These pine barrens out here that raise pine trees. The pine trees are the exact fuel model that the fires want. It's like pouring gasoline on fire with the pine tar. It's kind of like having napalm like they used in Vietnam, spread across the ground. Officials stress that this region sees more rainfall. They need to see more rainfall, or the wildfire threat will continue. The rapidly spreading blaze spurred evacuations of residents on Tuesday. By today, the firefighters lifted the evacuation orders and cautioned residents to stay on alert. Ocean County resident Michael Ferrara said that he watched in horror yesterday as flames and smoke closed in on his neighborhood, prompting him to heed the mandatory evacuation orders. The firefighters saved a lot of the homes. As the day progressed, it was kind of scary. Ferrara said he weighed his decision Tuesday night to leave or stay, and he finally left. Smoke and everything was right in his backyard. Everything was covered in black ashes. Unreal. This is what New Jersey's facing. There are other fires across the entire country. There are other fires across the entire country. This is going to be ongoing through the entire summer. And we're going to tell you about it as soon as we get the information. But that's not all, folks. There's more. Let me tell you about a district attorney in Minneapolis. District Attorney Mary Moriarty in Minneapolis, Minnesota, was given $511,230 by George Soros. George Soros, paying her to not prosecute criminals. Criminals. There is one man in Minneapolis that caused over $22,000 in damage to a Tesla dealership. The police in Minneapolis arrested him. Mary Moriarty let him go. Miss Mary Moriarty let him go. Why am I talking about it? Because I want to get enough people to get her thrown out of office. I want to get enough people to get her thrown out of office. Who else is spurring her? Who do you think is spurring her on to glory? Minnesota Governor Walz, Tampon Tim, doing the same thing. Telling the police to release lawbreakers. Telling the police to release lawbreakers. This woman is as bad. This woman is as bad as Trish in New York. The Attorney General of New York, who is now under indictment. The Attorney General in New York is under indictment for fraud. Multiple counts of mortgage fraud, state and federal mortgage fraud, and other counts of fraud against her as well. The same kind of fraud that she accused President Trump of last year, trying to put President Trump in jail. Now that Attorney General is going to jail herself. Once she goes to court, she's going to go to jail. Unreal. And that's not all, folks. Tampon Tim himself is also going to be in trouble as well. But he's getting propelled by who else? Who else? That wonderful man, George Soros, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars throughout this country, paying off attorney generals and district attorneys to not prosecute people. That's what's going on. But that's not all, folks. There's more. There's a lot more. Let's talk about funding the use that was blocked by our wonderful friend Elon Musk and his Doge team. Cut off funding. USAID was sending the money to non-governmental organizations that the Democrats controlled. Now that money's been cut off. It's no wonder the Democrats are madder than hell. Their money's been cut off. Totally cut off. But that's not all, folks. There's more. There's a lot more. Let me show you more. Let me show you more. This woman here you all know. Good old Whoopi Goldberg. Doge uncovered 2 weeks ago. That she was given a $6 million grant. Word to Whoopi Goldberg to promote diversity and equity on The View. This is exactly why these audits matter. Why was taxpayer money used to fund a daytime talk show? Why was our taxpayer money used to fund a daytime talk show? That's not all, folks. There's more. There's a lot more. Let's talk about this. I've been talking about this for over a year now. When I first saw men posing as women at libraries dressed in women's lingerie, having story time for young people, reading bedtime stories and children's playtime stories to children in libraries, men dressed up in women's lingerie. So you're saying that tobacco products and race cars will make me want to smoke, but gay and drag queen storybooks won't influence my life choices. Yeah. This is what the Democrats have done to our young people. This is what the Democrats have done to our young people just during the past 4 years. And doesn't stop there. Let's go back to 2021, right here. This man here. We wanted to stop the pandemic. We wanted to stop the pandemic. But this man here and Joe Biden didn't want to stop it. The best way to stop the pandemic, the next pandemic, is to arrest those who start the first. I'm asking that Mr. Fauci, Dr. Fauci, and his wife get arrested and go to jail, along with most of the Biden administration, because the Biden administration also promoted the same narrative. They promoted the same narrative. Tens of thousands of people died. Tens of thousands of people died because of this man here. It helped promote and fund it, along with Bill Gates. Bill Gates and Mr. Fauci need to be in jail right now. Every Democrat that was involved with this needs to have an ankle monitor and then be put in jail. This needs to be stopped and needs to be stopped now. Fauci is out on his own right now, on his own recognizance. The same thing with his wife. Both of them are equally guilty, working for the same organization. And Fauci and Bill Gates funded it through the Institute of Virology in China, Wuhan, China. Incredible. It's not over. It's not over, guys. It's not over. Let me give you a list of Democrat priorities. Look at this. This is what happened in recent months, in recent years. Let's talk about Maui. Maui burned to the ground because Congress did nothing. Last September, North Carolina got flooded out by a hurricane, and Congress did nothing. The Biden administration did nothing. The Biden administration told FEMA not to give anybody any more than $700. Yet billions of dollars were given to FEMA for the hurricane victims. What did FEMA use that money for? The Biden administration. Florida also got hit by 2 hurricanes. Category 4 hurricanes, Hurricane Milton and Hurricane Helene. And yet Congress did nothing. An illegal immigrant gang member gets deported. Yet 5 congressmen are in El Salvador trying to bring him back. Spending U.S. money, U.S. taxpayer money to bring him back. Congress is a problem. Congress is a real problem. I'm not done. One of the prerogatives in the Senate, spoken about by Ted Cruz, Republican from Texas. Senators in the Senate can travel internationally on official travel, and each senator can make a determination of if he or she wants to go. Ted Cruz said taxpayer-funded trips are opted and should be related to their responsibilities, related to their work. But particularly for someone like Van Hollen, Senator Van Hollen from Maryland, and Senator Murphy, They both served with Senator Cruz on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee. That in and of itself gives you significant justification to travel abroad for work, i.e., going to El Salvador. So you can look at Democrats travel to El Salvador. If they want that part reasonably of their work, yes. But what they're doing is traveling in order of high magnitude, highlight. We want to bring this illegal immigrant, whom 2 courts have said that he is an MS-13 gang member, an illegal alien, who in 2019 crossed the border illegally. An MS-13 gang member that had MS-13 written on his knuckles, on his fingers. That's an astonishingly bad policy. Bad politics. A committee chairman's approval is typically needed for a member to go on an office trip. The chairman of the committee gave them permission to go on that trip. In 2020 and 2021, Garcia's wife, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, he beat up his wife. Garcia's wife filed for a protective order, said he was violent and abusive and really scary, including allegations that he punched her, scratched her on the eye, left her bleeding after throwing her laptop on the floor at her, ripped her shirt, ripped off her shorts. Then he grabbed her arm, leaving very serious marks on her arm. Garcia's wife also wrote in court at this point, "I'm afraid to be close to him. I have multiple photos and videos of how violent he can be." This is the same man the Democrats are wanting to fly back from El Salvador with, to be a happy ensconced member of the USA family. Isn't it a shame? The Democrat Party are calling him a family man from Maryland. I've heard this mainstream media many times, and I'm talking probably 100 times in the past 2 weeks since President Trump had him deported. Calling him a family man. They haven't even used his name. A family man from Maryland. They don't bother using his name because his name constitutes bad things. Gang member, abuse, spousal abuse. Trump's diatribe. This man is a Democrats are wanting to fly back from El Salvador to be a happy ensconced member of the USA family. Isn't it a shame? Trump's diatribe came from El Salvador President Nayib Bukele on Thursday. He shared snaps of the senator lounging with Abrego Garcia, sipping on cocktails, margaritas. The senator, a United States senator and many other senators as well, have removed Abrego Garcia from El Salvador's notorious mega prison as his high-profile deportation battle rages on. 5 Democrat senators are down there in El Salvador right now. Reading from his notes, Trump recited, 2 separate judges affirmed Abrego Garcia was a member of MS-13. When he was originally arrested in 2019, he was wearing a sweatshirt with rolls of money pouring out of it, and an MS-13 gang symbol on his hands. Rolls of money in his sweatshirt. Unreal. Rolls of money. He was paid by the same drug cartels that he belonged to. Yes, MS-13 belonged to drug cartels. Drug cartels gave him 7 people and paid him to drive 7 people to Maryland. He was stopped by the Tennessee Highway Patrol. He was driving with 2 other known violent MS-13 gang members. In 2022, he was stopped by the Tennessee Highway Patrol and was found to be transporting 7 people from Texas to Maryland. Abrego Garcia did not have a driver's license. The Tennessee Highway patrolman raided into headquarters. Headquarters put it all on to the NCIS National Crime Information Computer. The FBI got on and said to the Tennessee Highway patrolman, take his picture, take pictures of everybody in the car and let him go. Let him go. The Biden FBI released Abrego then, illegally transporting gang members and other people from Texas to Maryland, illegally transporting them to Maryland. What's really going on here? What's going on here, guys? This kind of crap has got to stop. This kind of crap has got to stop. But it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. We have activist judges all over this country trying to stop Trump from deporting illegal aliens. This man here, Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller says, under what theory of the Constitution does a single Marxist judge in San Francisco or anywhere else have the same executive power as the commander-in-chief, the president of the United States, who is elected by the whole nation to lead the executive branch? No such legal theory exists as merely naked judicial tyranny. Naked judicial tyranny. This is what's going on. It's all over the United States. It's all over the U.S. All over the U.S. And then we have people. We have people such as Congressman Alexandria Cortez, and I'm not AOC, Ocasio-Cortez, telling gang members and anybody else, burn down Tesla dealerships. Then a congresswoman from Texas, before her birthday, before March 29th, told gang members and other violent people to stop Elon Musk. She even mentioned killing Elon Musk. A congresswoman, a lawmaker. Why is she still in Congress? All of you guys, all of you need to be talking to your fellow friends and family in Texas, telling them to take her out of Congress, recall her immediately. The judicial system in Texas should be taking her to court and throwing her in jail. Threatening a federal employee. Elon Musk is a federal employee. Elon Musk is a federal employee. No, he's not getting paid, but he's still a federal employee. Why is that congresswoman still in Congress? Why is Maxine Waters? Why is Chuck Schumer still in the Senate? Why? I can name off another 5 people. Why are they still there? They've called for riots in the street. They've called riots in the street. They should all be in jail. These are supposed lawmakers. Folks, our United States is under fire. Our United States is under fire. If we don't stop it soon, we're going to be in real trouble. We're going to be in real trouble. Marianne Dewar not just saying, where's Pam Bondi? Pam Bondi is the U.S. Attorney General put there by President Trump. Pam Bondi and her people are working on this, but in my opinion, they have not gone far enough. We need to call the switchboard of the United States government. Call the switchboard of the United States government. And you want to talk to aides to the United States District Courts. You need to talk to aides of Pam Bondi as well. Aides to the Attorney General's office, and ask them. Don't tell them be nice, but tell them we've had enough. That we want law and order to happen. We want these senators and people in power to be taken into toll. They need to be prosecuted. They need to be prosecuted. They all need to be prosecuted. Yes, the Democrats exercised lawfare against President Trump the last 2 years, trying to keep him out of the presidency. The United States people put him there. The United States people put him there by overwhelming vote. By overwhelming vote. We want him to stay there. I personally love President Trump. He's doing a great job. He's doing a great job. Guys, call your senators. Call your congressmen. Call the Attorney General's office. My buddy Don Patoga is a mod on this channel. Just put this up. Thank you, Don. Appreciate it. The Capitol Hill switchboard is area code 202-224-3121. Area code 202-224-3121. Don't get mad. Be nice. But ask firmly. Ask firmly that you want to see business held against these people. They need to be taken into toll. They need to be arrested and indicted on crimes against this country, crimes against our Constitution, crimes against our civil liberties. Yes, they have violated our civil rights. They have violated our civil rights. That's got to stop. When we have senators and congresswomen calling out Elon Musk and telling people they need to eliminate him, that's crossed the line. These congressmen and women need to be indicted and arrested. And I mean done immediately. Be nice. Renee Steffi says nice stopped at midnight. I agree. But we need to be nice about it. We cannot be threatening anybody. We cannot be calling the Senate, the House, or the Attorney General's office to be mean. Be nice, but be firm. Tell them you want discipline. You want these people to be stopped and indicted for crimes of tyranny against this company, against this government. Crimes of tyranny against President Trump, Elon Musk, and our entire government. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. We've got to make sure we come behind God. We stand behind God. Stand for what is right. Stand for what is right and true. We need to stand for something. We need to stand for something. Again, I'm going to show you this book. I got this book a long time ago, written by Gordon B. Hinckley, Standing for Something. That's what we need to do. Today we live in an age where traditional beliefs have been attenuated, ridiculed, and mocked. We desperately need leaders who will defend them. And just important, we need leaders who will explain why they're worth defending. We need leaders that will explain to us why they are worth defending. We need to stand for something, each one of us. That's why I'm coming out tonight and being so hard laced here. We need to stand for something. We need to do it now. Before the election, we stood for something. We got President Trump elected. Now we need to keep him there. And we need to make sure that these Democrat idiots get stopped. I don't want violence, but I want them indicted on crimes and put behind bars. The entire Biden administration needs to be taken down and spanked, indicted and put behind bars, every one of them. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, that idiot from Montana. All of them need to go down, every one of them. And Pencil Neck Adam Schiff from the Senate, arrested and go to jail. That's what needs to happen. Guys, I'm going to let you go. Now we're pushing 3 hours here. I didn't mean to go 3 hours. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry it's gone that far. But God bless us all. God bless our country. God bless our country. I love you all. If there's anything else we can do, let's talk about it tomorrow night. Take notes, guys. Write notes down. Send me emails of things you want me to discuss tomorrow night. Usually we discuss the Pacific Northwest. We talked about that on Monday. Things have not changed. They stayed the same. Unless something major happens, we'll talk about it tomorrow night. But tomorrow night, I want to have an open discussion about things that you want to talk about. Send me an email. Send me an email. Send me an email, guys. I'd appreciate it. Also, if you want to help support this channel, do so. Just below this video here, in the top of our program description, you'll find our email address. You'll also find a link to join this program as members of our program here on YouTube. You'll also find our links to PayPal locations and our Venmo location to help support this program, which we greatly appreciate. You'll also find our mailing address, 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. I appreciate your support. I'd appreciate anything you can do for me. I will try to help you as much as I possibly can. Until then, guys, have a good night. Renee Steppe says, please continue to monitor local weather stations if you're in the paths of some storms. Severe weather is still possible. Severe weather here in the south of North Carolina will be coming in tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're going to have severe weather here. Rob, he got on late again. That's all right, Rob. I appreciate you, brother. God bless you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate each one of you. Thank you all for being here. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Good night, everybody. Much love. Enjoy yourselves. God bless. See you then. Bye.